We're back in Seattle. Why are we back in Seattle, Linny?
We are dropping off our paperwork for the 10-year Chinese visas.
10-year Chinese visa. Yeah. The last time we got a Chinese visa, it was a horribly complicated process that started in Bangkok and failed at the embassy miserably after about 12 hours of paperwork. And then we went to Hong Kong and used a visa agency, and that was way easier. This time it's a hybrid. We had to do about 12 hours worth of paperwork, and we're also using an agency, so hopefully we get this visa, right? Right? Yes.
But why?
Why would, yeah, that's a good question. And actually, when I was explaining this whole process to my parents last night, my dad looked at me afterwards and he's like, wow, Idaho sounds really nice right about now, meaning that why would you put yourself through all of this hassle to get this visa? And I guess it boils down to the fact that I just find it worth it to visit these places because they're so interesting. Would you agree?
Well, China,
What do you think?
yeah, China in particular, China is notorious and Russia is notorious for incredibly complex
Visa requirements.
But okay, so I'm jumping through these hoops, right? I'm jumping through these hoops, doing a lot of paperwork, doing a lot of research, getting everything all in order. But it's because we went to China before. I love China.
Yeah.
I love Chinese people. I love the culture. If you're from the West, you cannot get more far removed from your culture than China, frankly. It's the East versus West.
Exactly.
And they're very different.
They are very different. So that is why you put yourself through these kind of nasty chores, because there's interesting shit that awaits. And so the building that we're going to is right there. And actually we filmed a cool cinematic short film of Seattle a few months ago that nobody saw. I'll put a link in the description. If you want to go check it out, please do, because I really like it and no one saw it, or barely anyone saw it. But we filmed part of it in that building. It's also worth mentioning that there's a nice breeze here in Seattle, and I just made a windsock for this camera. How's it sound? Can you hear the wind? I think not, or maybe, honestly, I don't know. Would you be able to list off a few of the items that you had to do in order to get all the documents required for this visa?
Yes. So, there's a police museum. So, you need to have a proof of coming into the country, right?
Yeah, like entry and exit.
Entry and exit, proof of entry and exit, proof of where you're staying, so your hotels and such. An entire, what is this? Oh, I wanted to go here. Sorry, it was salami. That looks good. Sashimi. You need to have, where was I going? You need to have entry and exit requirements and documents backing that up. How you're getting in, how you're getting out. You need to have a copy of your driver's license, passports, your physical passports. There's this.
Basically, you need a lot of stuff to fulfill your visa requirements, and this lady over here is just yelling, going nuts. Very hard to concentrate. Okay, there are a couple things worth mentioning regarding this visa. When we got up to the visa place in Smith Tower and actually talked to the lady who ran it, I asked her about the entries, like how many entries do you get? There's multiple entries. What does that mean? And apparently, according to her, it means that as long as you don't overstay on a particular entry, you're good to basically enter and exit China indefinitely while your visa is still valid. I'm not really sure whether or not this is true. If somebody knows better, please share it in the comments. I've not really been able to confirm or deny that either way. So just thought I'd share that. So we parked in the parking lot of Waijamaya, which is like this Asian food market close to where we used to live, because Lynn has to satisfy her addiction
To Vietnamese instant coffee.
Yes. And they'll also validate our parking if we buy something. All right, so we finished the visa chore, back into Tacoma, and hopefully that will work. One of the things I've noticed, though, it's been about a week since we both quit working, and I feel like I've still not been able to really focus on videography or our channel or our business or any of that stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know why we start talking about this stuff always in the car. It's always on the road for whatever reason, kind of clears our thoughts, or we get in big fights. But full disclosure, we've been getting in really big fights.
Yes.
We've been like really, really stressed out. And I think it's because Noah can see the future. I can too, but I always like pull us back a little bit and try and live in the present. So as much as I'm trying to, you know, big picture, try and focus on our business and where we're going and what's happening, next steps, I'm also realizing that right now we're spending time with our family, which is a great distraction and a temporary one, unfortunately. So I feel like I'm in these two worlds. I'm in a limbo state where I'm trying to make you not mad at me and you know, work on our stuff ahead of time in the future, but then also try and be in the present, like spend time with Elliot or my family and my dad and my mom and things like that. So it's hard to find that balance. So
Well, that is a very good way of putting it. I guess being mindful is probably something that I definitely should work on, but
yes, be in the now, Nanny.
all right, be in the now. Touche, fair enough. I admittedly have not been, because yeah, it gets a little bit stressful when you put everything on the line, I guess, with respect to your jobs. You know, it's like you quit your job, you don't have any more solid income, and I start to freak out a little bit because I'm like, if we're not moving the needle towards that goal immediately, then I start feeling weird. But good perspective. Thanks, Linny.
You're welcome.
All right, that's it. That's what's going on. We have our Chinese visas done. Hopefully they will come back successfully, and
we'll have Chinese adventures.
Well, yeah, Chinese adventures. Wish us luck.
And now we pack for the road trip.
Yay!